عملت لحلمي عملت كثيرا وها قد حصل. Inshallah, Dr. Wajid Akhter. For those of you that don't know Dr. Wajid Akhter, I'm not going to give a long introduction because the man himself does not need an introduction. Dr. Wajid Akhter is the founder of Charity Week. So the amazing project that you've seen us raising money for over the past 2 weeks, doing various events, haggling you, hassling you for your little pounds and your card donations. Alhamdulillah, Dr. Wajid and his team have been working really, really hard, and they are the ones that started it. And he's also a doctor by profession, which alhamdulillah, we love to see doctors there. It's the healthcare that I dearly love. And I wish I was a part of them, but I'm not, so we won't stay on that for too long. But I'm going to bring in Dr. Wajid Akhter. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan. Very kind introduction, but you guys are the ones who do all the hard work, subhanAllah. You know, people like myself, we just say a few words, but yourselves, your team, mashallah, the Islamic Society, all the brothers and sisters, you put in the amount of effort you all put in. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you immensely in ways that you cannot even begin to imagine, inshallah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salam wa shafin anbiya wa mursaleen nabiyana Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam wa ilayhi tasliman jami'an kathira. So, the Prophet ﷺ said a hadith which we accept, but I didn't quite understand why. The Prophet ﷺ said, the best charity is giving water to drink. I didn't understand why that was the case. I accepted it because the Prophet ﷺ said it makes sense. It must be true, but why? Why should water be a better form of charity than giving food? Why should giving water be a better form of charity than helping someone with their medical costs or building a shelter? It didn't make any sense to me. I didn't understand until I grew up. And after many years, I realized why water is the best form of charity. Does anyone know why? Can anyone tell me why? And I promise you, this is not going to be about the vision of Charity Week, because Sister Zara will be speaking about the vision, inshallah. And I think she's going to do a much better job than I will. So I'm going to talk to you about why you should donate, inshallah, today. And hopefully I'll be able to convince you. Yes, Sister Abda, you got it right. It's the source of life. You need water to exist. It literally, it's the first thing that if you lose it, it's the fastest thing that will kill you. If you lose shelter, you can live for weeks, months, maybe years. If you lose food, you can live for weeks, possibly long days. But if you lose water, it's days at the most, and then you're gone. So water is a necessity for life. It's the thing that you need. If you give people who need water straight away, then you're probably saving their life. What does this teach us? Why did the Prophet ﷺ have to say this? Because, it's obvious now that you think about it, that water is a necessity, water is the source of life. So if you have to choose between giving anything, give water. Why is this important? You know why this is important? Because when I realized why water was the best form of charity, my mind was blown. I realized that this is the true religion. Every time we need to remind ourselves why Islam is a true religion. In America, they did a survey, the Pew Research poll, they said that 23% of all American Muslims had officially left Islam. 23%. That's a big number. The only reason the number of Muslims in America are not dropping is because a lot of people are reverting to Islam from other communities. But 23% is a large number, and I don't think the UK is very far behind. So it's always important to remind ourselves again and again, is Islam the truth? And this hadith tells you Islam is the truth, because no other religion says this. No other religion tells you that water is the best charity except Islam, the Prophet ﷺ told us. Because it's strategic. It makes strategic sense. It makes sense that you will always be strategic when you give your money. So the Prophet ﷺ is basically telling us that when you give your charity, don't just take your money and throw it and not care where it goes. Think, use your brain. Where will it be applied best? Who needs it most? Where will it have the most impact? Think before you just throw your money on charity. That's what the Prophet ﷺ is trying to teach us from this, that water is the best charity. So, my brothers and sisters, you're at a charity event, you're about to spend some money. Why is this the best way to spend your money. Because let's face it, nobody has an infinite amount of money, not even the billionaires, right? There's a limit to how much money you have, especially us, especially you guys. Many of you are students, many of you are at university. You got to fill in your tuition fees. Those things are no joke. And then you have to living expenses and travel expenses and the books that they make you buy. They're so expensive. And there's there's so many other expenses on top of that. So on top of that, you're going to give money for charity. You want to make sure that that money is being spent wisely. You want to make sure that you're giving it in the best way possible. You want to make sure that you're following what the Prophet is telling us, being strategic with the money. So let's see, are you being strategic? I'll ask you a question, my brothers and sisters. We know the situation of the Muslims in Afghanistan right now. Right now, they are in the brink of starvation. Not one or two, the majority of the population is on the brink of starvation because they have no money going to them. All their money is kept out from the outside, and a lot of the aid groups have stopped, so they are on the brink of starvation. Should we help them, or should we help our brothers and sisters in Syria who are also undergoing starvation right now? Who should we help? I'll ask you another question. Should we help build a maternity unit in Gaza? Our brothers and sisters in Palestine have some of the worst rates of infant mortality in the world. For no other reason. It's not because they have any special problem, but because they are being kept in an open air prison. And because they are being oppressed in an open air prison, they do not have access to the maternity unit, things that you get in any other country. So due to this reason, they have the worst rates of infant mortality. They give birth to babies and the babies die for want of medicine or equipment that anyone will get somewhere else. Should we build a maternity unit, or should we build schools in Syria? Because the people, the Muslims of Idlib are, the children have not had education for many years now. There was a famous video on YouTube, you'll see it. There was a man walking around a refugee camp, and he was asking the children, he said, "Can you read this word for me?" And you couldn't see the word that he was showing the children. You could just see the back of the man. So he was saying, "Could you read this word for me?" And the children, from little children to older children to actually quite old children, were looking blank. No, sorry. And after 2 minutes of going around, he showed you what the word was. The word was Allah in Arabic. These Syrian children cannot even read the word Allah in Arabic because their country is being destroyed for 10 years now. So should we build schools for them to save their future? So what should we do? A maternity unit in Gaza or schools for Syrians? What should we do? Should we, in the Rohingya refugees who are in Bangladesh, they are being split up from the camps that they're in right now. You know what the most lucrative and the most common profession is in the camps, right? Of the Rohingya refugees? Prostitution. That's what our sisters are going through, the young ones even. The number one job in Rohingya refugee camps is prostitution. We should not be surprised because this is the Muslim Ummah we're talking about. So we are capable of anything. Many other Muslim countries even didn't let them in. So in Bangladesh, they're being shifted from one place to another without access to schools or education or healthcare. Should we fund their schools, education, and healthcare, or should we build schools, education, and healthcare for children in Mali who are not in an emergency situation, but because they're not in an emergency situation, no one is funding them? Who should get it? Mali or Rohingya? These are the real questions that you have to answer. You can't run away from these questions. There's one person who was brave enough to make an answer. but the rest of us are running away from it, right? You have to answer that question. And he's justifying this. Good, it's a good justification, but do those other children deserve to die? The thing I'm trying to explain to you, brothers and sisters, is this is shaitan's choice. This is not a human choice. This is shaitan's choice. He's telling you to choose between two options you don't need to choose between. There is no reason you need to choose between these. There is enough wealth in this ummah, from Malaysia to Mali. There is enough talent, there are enough billionaires, there are enough doctors, there are enough engineers, there are enough geniuses in this ummah right now to make sure that not one child needs to die, to make sure that not one person needs to suffer, to make sure that not one child gets uneducated. There is enough, only if we work together. If we don't work together, there is not enough even to save ourselves. If we don't work together, there is not enough to even help our own neighbors, let alone anyone else. When we work together, look at us, we're idiots. We're building 7-star hotels and the bigger towers, and again another bigger tower, as if going up into the sky, like we have no, like there's no sense in the world. We have enough money. We're making gold-plated steaks and selling it in London. You think we don't have money? We've got money coming out of our ears. We've got oil beneath our feet. We have gold underneath our feet. We've got all the money, the talent and energy in the world, but we don't have this. No unity. And when you have no unity, your mindset is a disunity mindset. Disunity mindset tells you, I can only help Gaza or Syria, but I cannot help. I can only give education or healthcare. I cannot give you both. Do this, I cannot give you both. This is what we're here for, brothers and sisters. This is what Charity Week is about. No more choosing between these false choices. And this is why it literally, like, you know, we shouldn't take it so personally. And Islamic societies decide, you know, one day they wake up, they say, oh, sorry, we're not doing a charity week this year because someone gave us £3,000. Khalas, take your £3,000 and go and do whatever you want with your money. But you could not. Yes, it upsets me. It upsets the hell out of me. Because if all we do, you're doing good work with charity, this is great. But if we work together, we could actually build a healthcare system. If we, rather than say, here, you're a poor boy, here, take food. Tomorrow, khalas, you go, whatever, tomorrow is not my problem. You're not in my face tomorrow, right? You're not on my TV screen tomorrow. So to hell with your tomorrow, I don't care. That's what we're doing. That's what we do all the time. Whatever the news decides is in the headlines, that's what we donate to. Let's be honest. Who decides where money goes? BBC. Social media, that's what decides. If tomorrow there's a tragedy in Gaza, all the Muslims will be donating in Gaza. And if day after tomorrow there's a tragedy in Somalia, all donate to Somalia, and nobody will even think for a second who decides to donate to. There's no strategy. There's no thinking. There's no unity to this. We need to change our mindset. We need to think differently. We need to think like the Prophet ﷺ is telling us to think. Where is the best place and the best way to raise and give your money? This is what charity, brothers and sisters. Do you want to delay suffering, or you want? Because we're the only charity. You are part of this as well. I'm not saying that we or me. I'm separate to you guys. We're all in the same team. We're the only charity project that says that we're not interested in your money. Every other charity project is interested in your money. Money. We're not interested in your money. We're interested in you. We're interested in you. Not your. We want you. There is a famous story of Malik ibn Dinar, who's one of the great, Kubar awliya from long time ago. He was praying in his home, tahajjud, and a thief came into his house. The thief was looking around. It's the middle of the night, so the thief was looking around and couldn't find anything. Malik ibn Dinar finished praying, and he turned around to the thief, and he said to him, "Did you know what you were looking for?" And the thief said, "No." So Malik ibn Dinar said, "Do wudu and come and join me." So the thief went and did wudu and joined Malik ibn Dinar. The thieves those days, right? Even better than we are today. So the thief prayed with Malik ibn Dinar, and they were sitting down after they had finished, and the adhan of Fajr came. So Malik ibn Dinar up and said, "Where are you going?" And Malik ibn Dinar said, I'm going to pray Fajr, come with me. So they started walking together. As they were walking together, some students of Malik ibn Dinar saw the big sheikh and they saw who this person, they didn't know who he was. They said, Sheikh, who is this? And Malik ibn Dinar said, he came to me, I ended up stealing him. He came, I ended up stealing him. My brothers, my sisters, today, this auction, give your money and give it freely. You will get your money back, inshallah, many, many, many times over. And your money will be going to Unified in Unity projects, inshallah, which will be all those projects I talked about. Everything I talked to you about, from the schools in Idlib, to the maternity unit in Gaza, to the healthcare project in Rohingya, to the projects for the deaf children and speech and language therapists in Bosnia and Chechnya and in Mali. All of those projects, we could do it together, inshallah. All of them, you could do it and you donate today. So give your money, inshallah. But what I really want, the smart people give their money, and the geniuses over here, the geniuses in this group who are listening, they will give themselves. Because we didn't come here for your money. Your money will come and it will come back to you. And it will go. We came for you. If you join this project, the people's lives who you are changing, life will be changed, inshallah. And this, not this project, just this project of unity. And this unity is hard. It's not easy. And Sister Zara is going to talk about it, but it's not. It requires sacrifice. It requires putting other people before yourself. It requires saying, even though I'm upset, I'm going to swallow my anger. It requires saying, even though I don't get along with these people, I'm going to swallow my impatience and try and get along. It requires putting in effort and striving and pushing and not just emptying your pocket, but emptying all the disunity that is ingrained within us for the last hundreds of years. When you do that, inshallah, we will build a different and a better world, inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised that. He's already promised it, right? He will not change the situation of people until they change themselves. So what needs to change? Our Quran doesn't need to change. Our Prophet ﷺ doesn't need to change. The way we pray doesn't need to change. The way we fast doesn't need to change. What needs to change? Us. That's what needs to change. We need to be united again. Jazakallah khairan, and apologies for going over time.
Jazakallah khair, Dr. Wajid, for that beautiful. Can you come back, please? We're not done with you. So soon. Alhamdulillah, it's an honor for us to have the founder and the head of Charity Week with us. We need to spend a few more moments together. I just wanted to ask you, it's obviously Alhamdulillah Charity Week has been going on for the past 10 days or so, about 2 weeks almost. Based on what you've seen around, what has been like your favorite moment of Charity Week so far in the last 2 weeks for 2021?
I'll be honest, one of the favorite moments was in one of the countries, because alhamdulillah, many countries are taking part now, and in those countries, inshallah, all of you are getting the ajr for it, because they're taking part because of you guys, and they look at your pages, your social media pages, your Instagram, and they get ideas. I promise you, one of the brothers from either Germany or South Africa was going through and coming up with ideas and saying, subhanallah, I just spend my time going through their Instagram pages, and it inspires us, because UK, the youth of UK are ahead. But one thing that I found really inspirational this year especially was in one country. They're really struggling, and they're struggling quietly, and they're working hard, and the team is small, but they're still persevering. So we had a meeting, and in that meeting, there was like 4 of them. That's it. And you would have expected that they would be quite downhearted, demotivated, that that they are left to do things on their own, and that they're not getting the support that they want. They think from everyone else, it's not going as well as it can. And that's why that's it. 4 people. Amazing. This is terrible. But when they started speaking, it was as if 400 people in the room. They were more. They're saying, "We got this. We can do this, inshallah. Don't worry. numbers are nothing. It starts somewhere. It has to start from one, and then it will go to wherever, inshallah. We have to keep our sincerity and our intentions. You know, when that meeting, an emergency meeting, went in there, I went in there depressed. I left feeling motivated. I felt like I don't need 400 people. I need these 4, because these will be, they will lead to 400, 4,000 inshallah in the future. And there's so many stories like that. Islamic societies are often run by 2 or 3 brothers and sisters working like nuts, you know, like they just keep doing everything, and they need help and they need support, but they have passion, they have energy. And what I would tell everyone else is, don't be a bystander. This is the World Cup final. You can stand or you can get on the pitch. Get on the pitch, inshallah, and be part of the team. You will not regret it, because there's nothing like being on the pitch, inshallah. Nothing being like being part of the winning team. When you put on that World Cup winner's medal, there's nothing like it. Get on top, inshallah. Get on the pitch and get involved with your Islamic society. These Islamic societies are gems. They will transform your life, and inshallah, it will help you build your akhirah. So please don't let these other brothers and sisters, you know, the ISOC heads and the presidents and charity week leads run away with the ajr. Grab it off them and make sure that you get involved as well.
That's really, really true. And I think even for today, just a bit of a personal thing, this morning we were preparing for the auction night. We had nothing ready. We had people from other societies that are not even Muslim that's really contributing. They've played a pivotal role in sort of allowing the auction night to be where it is today, alhamdulillah. And it's not true. It's not because, you know, they were hereafter focused or it was Islam focused. It was purely the fact that it's charity. I want to do my bit. I want to help others. And it's just that of unity, really.
When we're united, people, look, when we were united, entire nations would become Muslim, right? They would just become Muslim. We didn't have to go and conquer Malaysia. And when we're disunited, then 1 or 2 people here or there, and actually many Muslims leave Islam. So when we're united, people love it. Non-Muslims love our unity. They watch Hajj and they want to go. The one question, whenever I do a presentation on Hajj, the one thing, whenever a non-Muslim audience is there, they're like, can I go? And I was like, no, you can't. And they said, why not? I want to go. This is fantastic. I was like, what is there for you? There's nothing. It's a desert. And we're praying. So you don't like the desert. It's not like there's a beach or anything like that. And we're praying all the time. What is there for you? But they want to go because every human beings, they love unity. So even the non-Muslims, when we're united, you will see they will just come towards us in a good way. It's going to be the best dawah.
Jazakallah khair, Dr. Wajid. Honestly, it's been an honor to have you. It's been a pleasure to have you, to hear about why we should donate, to where we're donating, the purpose, the benefits. And we're going to go more into that with the vision talk. But honestly, Jazakallah khair for taking the time out of your busy schedules.